receive is brand new. It's just newer while brothers drop.
Welcome back to Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzak.
My name is Rory Farrell.
And today, we not only have two cameras, but we have two special guests on the podcast.
And we're in a special location. This is a big podcast for us.
Big things are happening.
The first of many. So, Tom, why don't we start with you, since you are now our person who's been on here 3 times. The only person who's ever been on 3 times, I believe. Right, Mike?
Correct.
All right. So introduce yourself, Tom. Go ahead.
I am Tom Hendel, Glenside resident. Went to St. Luke's and Bishop McDevitt. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams and proud to be on your podcast.
Yeah.
And Jen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Eyre. It's EYRE, like Jane Eyre, but I'm Jen Eyre, like the appliance. I live on Kenmore. Yeah, I don't have an appliance fetish. But we have the law offices of Foland Eyre. I'm part of the Keswick Village Business Association. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Well, people can see the background's a little different, and I like this. We're doing some offsite podcasts. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where we are and maybe why we're here
Hold on,
doing
before he does that, can we say cheers real quick?
Cheers,
I'm trying to drink this.
absolutely.
Jumping the shark over here.
Yeah.
My bad, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you for
I
having
joined
us.
you, so.
Yeah.
Cilantro, I think. they
Definitely,
say.
cilantro. So we're at the Glenside Pub in Glenside. It's a staple of the community. Everybody's been coming here for years. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. We're here to talk about the Glenside St. Patrick's Day parade that just happened. And Ryan Call, the owner of the pub, soon as he heard about the parade, has been nothing but supportive. Anything that we needed, he was just like, just let me know. Donating gift baskets, gift certificates, help us to raise money. He threw a party after the parade, and this place was packed, live music. It was such a good time. So Ryan, just the best. So said,
Shout
you know
out,
what?
Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Delicious Guinness.
I'm actually a former dishwasher here in high school. This was my second job ever. I delivered the Glenside News as a child, and then graduated to be a dishwasher at the pub. So
Wow.
yeah, Ryan opened our doors. So
How old were you at that point?
well, I was delivering papers when I was probably about 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then freshman year.
Statute of limitations. You were doing it
Exactly,
before you had papers.
A lot of people didn't get their newspaper. I wasn't that great. But yeah, and then high school came, and Ryan offered me a job, and yeah, we've been friends since. So,
That's very cool.
Yeah, so yeah, we're here to talk about the parade, though.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So today we're here to talk about the parade. That's where we just left off. Had a little technical difficulty there. Wanted to fix something. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Continue.
Oh, no problem at all. Yeah, we were just talking about the pub and St. Patrick's Day parade, and we're here to talk about the parade, how it went, and the future, and how it started.
Well, I'm interested because in my head, I don't know why, but Glenside has always been like an Irish town. I don't know. Maybe that's just me coming from like Irish background and growing up. I grew up in North Hills, like just right around the corner from here. So maybe that just is my own perception. But it was the first time you guys ever did it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can speak to that.
Yeah. Let's hear about it. I just assumed there was one going on for years. Like if you would have told me they had the longest running one in America, I would have been like, yeah, it checks out.
I believed it. Yeah, for sure. No, it started the fall of 2023. The Greater Glenside Civic Association had a planning meeting at Glenside UCC in the basement. And there was an exercise that we did with Post-it notes. And you would write down ideas for how to bring the community together. And then they went on to different categories on poster board. And there was a Post-it note written by Noreen McAleer, who is the director of Cummins School of Irish Dance. She wrote St. Patrick's Day Parade. And I had the same response. It was like, well, obviously, we're not doing this. Like, are you kidding me? We're known for parades. We're saturated with Irish heritage here. I mean, like, I can't believe we're not doing this. And I have a lot of experience with event planning and said to Noreen, I will do whatever it takes to make this happen. So I guess January of 2024, I knew Jamie Piggott. So I got together Noreen McAleer and Jamie Piggott. I knew Jamie from the ALS Foundation. Okay. So my brother had ALS, and I was his caregiver during the pandemic, and Jamie was a huge help. Well, Jamie is the president of the Greater Glenside Patriotic Association.
Okay.
So he's the dude behind the 4th of July parade.
Yep.
So we sat
down. Which you guys are well known for.
Oh, exactly. It's the oldest parade
in the whole country.
In the whole country.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. So Jamie, Noreen, and I sat at my kitchen table January of 2024 and kind of learned the ropes, what we had to do. We knew we had to form a committee, and the biggest snafu at that point was, how do we need an EIN, we need a 501c3 to sponsor
All the
us.
boring stuff.
So exactly, to get
Above my
permits.
pay grade.
Yeah, right. To get permits and insurance, and we wanted to do fundraisers, so we had to have a Games of Chance certificate and all those things.
All the stuff that you just
So-
don't. And when you
No.
attend a parade, you're like, oh, cool, this is awesome. And then you don't realize all this stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's It was a real learning curve for me. So the GGPA, the Patriotic Association, they sponsored us. So we were under their umbrella, their auspices, and that's how we were able to do everything.
All right, cool. So you didn't have
Yeah.
to, is it that you didn't have to start over from scratch because you had a sponsor, or was it you still had to start over from scratch, you just had structure to it? Because
We had
you
structure.
Okay, cool.
We had structure, and we were able to just jump right in, because you have to have all those things in place in order to procure insurance.
Sure.
They need to know who's behind all this. So that was huge. We're now big enough where we can establish our own 501c3, though.
Very
we
cool.
will be doing
Awesome.
that. Yeah,
I feel like half the battle on things like this is just saying, like, having like a structure, like having like,
correct.
there's just, if you look at it big picture, like there's too much to figure out. But if you have the structure, like, all right, I know I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and this will lead to this, and like having that, like that skeleton of how to have success. And it sounds like Jamie was a huge part of that too, because he already
Huge.
helps with one. Right?
Yes, and he served on our committee. And I mean, it's significant to acknowledge that we went from a Post-it note to an amazing event in a little over a year.
That is
So
wild.
It
That's
really
awesome.
is.
Well, it probably speaks to like you guys having the probably the community backing, but also like the connections in the community. Like if I came in and just tried to start something like that, moving into a new town, it's like people aren't going to bend over backwards to help you out. But you guys are in the community. You've been here forever, obviously, and
Correct.
people want to help out people who have been around and support their community. And
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like our committee members, none of us have done a parade before, but between all of us, we just had different ideas and connections, like you said, in the community. It just somehow all came together, but
Yeah.
we're better for it for next year now.
Yeah.
Not one person had 100%. Everybody had 10%. It's like putting you together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 15 members on our community, our committee from the community, and like exceptional skill sets.
yeah,
And we would have meetings where someone would say, we need a logo. And, Colleen McDermott would say, I got you. I'll do this. And it wasn't like, I'll take a stab at it. It was like, no, I do this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have all the equipment. And then the next meeting, she'd show up with 5 logos, and we would choose from there. And that's how it went with everything with our committee. Just
Very
like
cool.
amazing follow through. I would go into business with these people because they say what they're going to do, they do what they're going to do, and it's like amazing follow through.
Oh, we work with Tom all the time, and we know that that's how you operate,
Yeah.
and that know that's how we operate, and it's probably why we go into business together.
Yeah.
We work together so well.
Absolutely.
If that's a Glenside thing, I'm going to move here.
Yeah,
We'd love
Great.
to have you.
Yeah.
yeah. Hard workers, really.
I don't know.
for
Last
sure.
name like Witsack, though.
And the good thing was that we all got along. Like that was
and had fun. Like
Yeah.
it was life giving.
Yeah.
Like I would look forward to our time together because it was like, I love these people. This is amazing.
That's great.
That was really joyful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree. It's just
Yeah.
rare that you have 15 people together working on something that I knew. There was a couple, I didn't know Jen yet. Like there was
Yeah,
a couple
we
people
met.
I met, but I knew most of the people from the committee, but we've never worked together on
Yeah, sure.
anything. And just everyone got along, was nice to each other. There was a couple bumps in the road, like figuring things out, but like everyone respected each other's opinion, and we just knew the goal, and we would work together and make it happen.
What could you ask
Absolutely.
for? That's
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know how you were involved from the get-go. How did you get involved with that?
Actually, Noreen just shot me a message one day. She's like, "Hey, we're putting together a St. Patrick's Day parade for Glenside. Are you interested?" And like, I was like, "Absolutely!" Like, where are we meeting and when? And I just knew it was something I wanted to be part of because, like Jen said from the beginning, like, how did no one think of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before, like Glenside was made for this. So I just wanted to be a part of it and showed up to meeting one, and everyone's like, "Who is this guy? All right, let's go."
Nice.
And then you got your sister involved,
Oh, yeah.
Jamie,
Yeah,
and
my-
she had a baby and then joined us with an infant and
Yeah.
Portable.
amazing skill
Yeah,
sets.
our
gosh.
group grew. Like, my sister Jamie came in and like she was figuring it out in the beginning, like what's my part in this, and she ended up being huge for the group.
Huge.
Like,
She made
did-
our maps. We distributed letters to all the residents. You're on the parade route, and then that changed.
yeah,
And one of the things that we wanted to talk about was just the parade route itself. The 4th of July parade obviously goes down Easton Road, but the 4th of July is a holiday, so everything's closed.
Right.
March 8th, we have to respect that things are open and busy.
The Friday though, right?
It was a Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, where do we meet on a Friday for a beer? Was that?
we've met on a lot of days for beers.
Sorry.
Yes.
You're going to be a little more specific.
No,
No.
we met on St. Patrick's Day for a beer.
That was a
okay.
Monday.
Yeah, that's what
that
I'm
was
saying.
a Monday.
St.
Yeah,
Patty's
that was
Day,
St.
yeah. It was a
Patrick.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you mean
whatever.
last Thursday?
No. I didn't think St. Patty's Day was on a weekend. You're just saying the parade.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Obviously
The
on the
parade
Saturday.
was on
Yeah.
a Saturday,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a holiday.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like we could close down Eastern Road. That's
Yeah.
a big expense.
Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people, like, there's different parades throughout, this area. So, you don't want to do it the same day as another parade.
Correct.
You don't want to do it on St. Patrick's Day. So we picked it was a Saturday, 2 Saturdays before.
The Saturday before March 8th. So, the Philly parade's the big one. that
Yeah,
we have to
yeah,
avoid,
so-
and that was the 16th this year. So
Yeah.
it's different every year. So our next date will be actually March 21st.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
you
about
heard
to
it here
announce. You
first.
heard
Well,
it.
that's
It's
what we're
first.
looking
It
at.
is.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
March
think that's-
21st.
yeah, yeah.
So it's after.
Yeah.
But it'll be, hopefully the weather will be more spring-like, more lamb than lion
Yeah.
in March, and hopefully we'll have a lot of bands that won't have conflicts
Yeah,
because
cool.
that's March is a busy month.
Yeah,
And you
busy
need
month,
the
sure.
music.
So
And
Oh,
it's-
absolutely.
It's the day after the best day of the year, so
Oh, get over yourself, dude.
Oh,
is that your birthday, March 20th?
He
Yes.
turns 21.
Ah,
He turns
nice.
21 next year. So.
all right. Don't say that in a bar, dude. 26. I'm 26 years
There you
old.
I'm an adult.
Yeah,
Well,
I can.
I mean, that's a little shaky.
Debatable. But
Yeah, I can legally have this beer though, please. Anyway, so how did you guys? Question I have: how did you go about like raising money for the parade?
That's a great question. So first of all, we do want to say we are completely a nonprofit organization. So all of our money basically came from the community. First off, like our sponsors, they were huge for everything. They just kept coming in. We were like, oh my God, we got another sponsor. So that was just amazing. We really thank the businesses that supported the parade. We could not have done it without them. And then we actually had some fundraisers. The first one was at Jersey's.
Yes,
We had that pretty early on.
in September.
Yeah, September. We were a new committee at that point, and we said let's do a fundraiser. So Jersey's was nice enough to let us have it there. We had the Natterjacks, they're a great Irish band, play. We had 50/50. We had what else fundraiser did we have there?
We had the human slot machine.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
this is Jen's idea.
You guys had a human slot machine
All
at the
right,
place.
yes.
Well,
She'll
yeah,
explain it to
yeah.
me.
It was
I know
crazy.
exactly what this is.
Yeah. So it was either a potato,
Okay.
a cabbage, or a pot of gold.
Very Irish.
So they were, and you have people in stalls; they can't see each other. So we got from Gerhardt's giant refrigerator boxes.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
and cut out one panel, so they're 3/4 next to each other, and people in there, and we would go, and they'd pick up
A random
object,
item.
Yeah.
And if you got 3 in a row, you won, and we had all kinds.
So
of
all
prizes
three
and all,
people
yeah.
raising stuff couldn't see each other.
Sure,
So it's
yeah.
all
Yeah.
skewed. So
Yeah.
So glad you
So,
didn't call me about
we
this
gotta-
one.
Yeah,
'cause
you're
I would've-
actually-
We got to bring it.
I would have
Yeah.
ran my bank account through the floor.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so Jersey's, that was absolutely amazing. And that was like the start for us. And then later on, we had a huge fundraiser at the VFW in Glenside. We rented out the whole place, and we had 3 local bands playing, the Shanties, the Dairy Brigade, Natterjack. Actually, that would do 4 because Bare Knuckle Boxers played.
Yeah.
They're a huge band in Glenside. One of our committee members, Matt Hungerford's in the band. So we had it there, and we actually sold out before the event, like we had to make an announcement. We can't have any more
that's
people
cool.
showing up, and we had to turn people
So
away
what's
at
the
the door.
capacity on a place like that?
250.
250.
Yeah.
Damn.
We had them upstairs, downstairs. It was uncomfortable to turn people away, but we also knew, oh, we're on to something.
Yeah,
This
like
is
you
huge.
wouldn't be able to get food. Like we ran out of food, had to get more food, drinks, that kind of thing. So it was a big success, but we learned we need to,
So you need a bigger venue next year?
Well, we could also add tents and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where we'll allow for more people, and we're gonna figure it out and maybe
will.
do more fundraisers so
Yeah. Mhm.
people
Get a
can
block
take
party.
turns going,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And
So
with that fundraiser, it was February 1st, and we intentionally chose the 1st of February because we thought dry January's over. We're going to celebrate that.
You guys are smart.
And we thought, oh, let's try and get like 3 or 4 baskets because they always make a lot of money. We had 33
No
Oh,
way.
in the week. Yes, Molly Stanton was like, I'll just put this on Facebook. We'll see if anybody wants to donate stuff. A very passive request, and all week long we just kept taking, and our baskets were like $100 gift certificate to here, and
Wow.
like substantial.
$100 for the
really
pub.
good
Thank you,
stuff.
pub.
Yes, thank
That's
you,
killer.
pub. Oh my gosh, yeah. So like the community response has been like exponentially overwhelming. Like I don't there aren't enough hyperbole to describe just the response. It's been epic.
It's obviously was something that you
So.
filled a niche on because
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
wanted it. They just didn't know they wanted it. Just like you guys
Yeah.
didn't know you needed to do it.
And we chose that
Yeah.
Saturday also because it was the only day the Eagles were guaranteed not
Yes,
to play
they
because
had
of
a bye.
playoffs
Correct.
and stuff. So we strategically,
Smart,
thank you,
smart,
Billy
especially this
Donahue,
year.
for
Yeah.
coming up with that. Picked
Yeah.
a good year for that.
Right.
And then the last thing on we raised
Yeah.
a lot of money many different ways, but merchandise.
For sure.
Which we're wearing right now. We have the sweatshirts on.
Very nice.
I
but
was
we
just about to ask where you guys got them done.
we're
too.
making more. You can't have the one that says crew on the back or staff,
Staff,
whatever.
yeah.
You're not staff yet.
Well, we could take
Ah.
a shift at O'Neill's, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
wear
we
the-
we sold sweatshirts, T-shirts, beanies. We sold them at the fundraisers. We sold them at the parade. We set up shop outside of O'Neill's multiple times. Billy and Debbie Donahue were running that, and the community just kept buying more and more merchandise. So
the key is getting people drinking first, and then all of a sudden buying mulch.
Yeah,
merch makes
yeah.
a
Well, they
lot
did-
of sense.
they did show up. Well, maybe they were drinking Saturday at 8 a.m. to pick up merchandise, but who knows? But
We don't know.
yeah, everyone just kept buying more and more merchandise, which helped us a lot, and we're going to start making even more merchandise. We're talking about tank tops, other kind of stuff. So
Must look
hopefully-
cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys have run into people in the community wearing it post parade. Like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
they don't know that I know this, but I had a hand in making those. right?
Absolutely. So,
Sure.
so yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much how we raise money, and it's a constant thing that we're thinking of because we got to keep it going. We need the continued support of the community and the sponsors because this parade's just going to grow and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 30 groups marching in the parade, 3 divisions, and every time we would make a marker with our fundraising, we'd be like, we can afford a string band. Oh my gosh, we can afford a pipe band. And we kept building this parade and adding more and more. And so, yeah, we spent a lot of the money because when you sponsor, we figured this is where you want it to go.
Yeah.
It goes to the greater good. And our parade was awesome. It really was.
Well, that's a good segue because we talked a lot about the preparation and the pre parade and
Yeah.
how successful that was. Talk about day of.
Okay. Well, I think if you talk to everyone in Glenside, that it was a very successful first parade. After months and months of meetings, it felt like every week we were meeting, but we weren't. But yeah, it just turned out great. The course, 7-10 days before, we're looking at the weather like, oh my God, is it going to rain? Is it going to rain? And just keeps changing and
Yeah.
getting us worried. And just the day of, it was perfect weather for that time of year. It was warm, not a cloud in the sky. So that turned out great. We had an estimated 7,500 people show up
Wow.
to the parade and festival, which we were expecting a big crowd, but not that big of a crowd. So that was absolutely amazing. And then, like Jen was saying, like we had such good participants in the parade.
Yeah.
We actually had the Eagles pep band play.
Wow.
who are no longer with the Eagles, we heard after, but I'm sure they'll be picking up a lot of gigs. But the crowd was going wild. Like, we just won the Super Bowl, and we got the Eagles pep band. So that was awesome. And then we did have a contest on the participants, like voting who has the best float, that kind of thing. And the Glenside Gardens, where I live, had the craziest float I've ever seen.
It was outstanding.
Like bubbles coming out the back and stuff, and the kids loved it, and it was just such a good thing. So
soon to be the brewery club next year.
Yes, we're in a brewery club, and we will be marching next year, dressed as beers. Spoiler alert! But,
lots to look forward to.
Yes, and we had, I think, 9 bands play the festival, because a lot of people thought that, like, no matter how much we advertised it, but thought it was just a parade. And no, but it's a parade and festival. So all of Keswick Village was shut down, and we had 3 places for bands to play, stages, so 9 Irish bands, food vendors, beer trucks. The Rooster was selling kegs and kegs of Guinness.
13 kegs of Guinness, and they sold out at 3:30.
Oh my god!
Yeah, a little hidden story from the parade and festival. Like, we got our own beer truck, and like, we were counting how many kegs were done so quickly, and we're like, we're gonna potentially run out of beer. So Linda Gerhardt's throwing up her credit card. She's like, just go on a beer run. So like, me and like 2 other guys borrowed somebody's car, drove up the Madonnas, threw 5 kegs in the back, drove back, and we're carrying them down.
I was gonna say, where can you even find kegs of Guinness on?
No, we didn't have.
I was gonna
Guinness.
say,
you need like specialty, as you know, for Guinness.
You're not gonna find those.
We're not getting
Guinness,
involved with that.
yeah.
The Rooster took care of the Guinness, but
because you need special keg taps. And stuff.
so we're carrying kegs through the crowd like we're in high school.
High school,
and,
this is college,
but we didn't run out of beer. But I think it was a very successful day.
I agree. For me, I was very emotional, because for a lot of reasons. I think it was just like this surreal moment. It was actually coming to fruition. And somebody a woman wrote on Facebook on our page, "I've been waiting my whole life for this." And it was that kind of moment. But we also dedicated the parade to our first responders. And the SPS fire was February 18th, and just devastating to our community. And I think it felt really good to come together as a community that day. But when the firefighters went by, especially Weldon, I sobbed. I'm so grateful to them. They saved our lives. So the timing of it was really critical for us to come together as a community. It was amazing.
Agree.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's so cool. How did you guys guess or estimate how many people you thought were going to be there? Because it's got to be
I
hard,
literally
right?
sat there and went 1, 2. No, I'll let you answer.
Well, we knew from our Facebook page and everything that people were coming from South Philly. They were asking, how do we take the train? Like, how far are you from Glenside train station? I knew people coming from Doylestown. So just the immediate area was already saturating our pages and everything. And with the fundraiser on February 1st, we knew that we were onto something. Once you go over 9,000, you have to bring in Homeland Security. And that's where we are.
I was gonna say, you better think about that next year, right?
We're already in plans.
Ready.
It's we're going to be ready for anything and everything. So,
Dang.
I think
and how do they estimate?
Yeah, I think the police are involved.
So they
with
must have chunked it and then multiplied. I don't know how they do it, but that's what they told us.
It's
That
just
was
like the Eagles parade. Like, they're like, there's
Yeah.
anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million people there. Like,
That's a big gap though. Like 9,000 is like pretty specific.
I
mean, it could have been 7,500, and they could have been like, it's 9,000. You're like, how do you?
I could not guess. Like, I just saw everyone in Glenside I knew there, and the day went by so quickly.
Can I get a hoodie? Can I get a hoodie with the staff on the back?
Yeah,
if I count
sure.
everybody?
You got to work for it.
There you go.
If I
That'll be the
count.
official counter.
That should be Mike's job next
Nice.
year. You will be dressed as a beer for the brewery.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be flying my drone over. I'll be like, 1,
There you
2,
go.
3, 4.
You got a year to learn how to count, buddy. He can't get past 20. We tried.
Been trying for months.
I got faith.
Finance guy over here.
Oh, that's great.
So obviously we already know about next year. What's the goal? obviously continue to go on and on. But how do you improve upon this year? What did you do this year that you would improve upon or change or?
We want to be intentional about bringing Cheltenham in. We stuck to Abington Township because as a first-year parade, we didn't know what to expect. Cheltenham would mean another permit, more overtime from officers, and more insurance requirements. So we made a decision to keep it in Abington Township, but we really do want to include Cheltenham as much as possible. So that's definitely on the list of what we want to do in the future.
Yeah, I would say there are things that we realized, with that many people. We heard people wanted more porta potties. We will definitely. I understand at St. Patrick's Day parade with the drinking.
People weren't drinking though on the street.
A little bit.
I think we should sell Depends.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that might be the
that
different
was happening
angle.
at the Eagles
Just saying.
parade, from
Yeah,
what I heard.
right?
Can you get them labeled?
Yeah,
Glenside Parade?
Put our logo
Well, you could
on it.
sponsor Marathon Mortgage diapers for
It would
everyone.
be like a UFC fighter or something with the marathon mortgage on the butt. It's just
I'm all about it. I'm not going to wear them, but I'm all about it.
I love it.
So, yeah, porta potties. We're going to have another beer truck ourselves because, the line was really long for beers. When you go somewhere like that, you don't want to be waiting 15 minutes for a beer. But we're learning.
15 minutes isn't that bad.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you don't want to be waiting it, but at the same time, it's like
Exactly. So
You got a beer.
It's yeah, exactly. So minor things like that, but we all took notes, and we're gonna. Once again, this was all of our first year doing something like this besides Jamie, who was amazing. And also shout out to Jim Logue. He runs the parade at, where's he run the parade again? It's in Jersey.
Mount Holly?
Yeah, Mount Holly. So he's been running the St. Patrick's Day parade there for years, and he came the day of the parade and was such a help. So
yeah.
besides those two guys, this is all new to us. So
Yeah.
we're learning. We're going to have hiccups next year probably too, but this is not going away. So
Awesome.
we're going to get better every year though.
And cell phone coverage.
Oh,
that was
huge
tough.
one,
That
huge
was
Oh.
nobody could use
you-
their phones because
Can
the
you
Wi-Fi
control
was
that, or
cut.
how does that?
I think we have to bring in.
You would know probably better.
Yeah, we have to do something about it.
I don't know.
We have to.
Yeah, no, there is
yeah.
Put that on
something-
the meeting minutes.
No,
for next time.
we already did talk about it. Just me and Jen don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But Molly brought it up. There is something that we can do which will allow, because not only did we not have our cell phones, I was trying to get in touch with my family and stuff, but some of the businesses couldn't use their credit cards and stuff.
Oh, no
and
way.
Then, yes, I heard surrounding houses couldn't have internet. That is definitely. I'm glad you brought that up. That is something we're addressing, and
I'm curious.
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Wow.
So
I
that's
would
just
like to say something though about communication. We were really good with communication, and I think we had signage. We put out posts and website, and just any way, shape, or form, letters that we delivered to residents.
Door knocking.
Yeah. And that was really important to us, and we want to continue to improve on that. But signage and telling people where to go, I think it's not just rudimentary telling you where to go. I think it's a sign of respect. We really wanted to make sure we were hospitable, and that we care about people and where you go, what your time and your safety and everything like that. So if anybody has anything to improve upon that, I want to hear from them. I would love to.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
very cool.
Yeah.
And people can probably reach out, Facebook. What's the best way to reach out to you about if they want to get involved?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think through our social media, we paid to have it bumped, and we're out there. We definitely connected with a lot of people.
What is it?
Yeah.
Well,
SPD 19038.
Yeah, or just look up St. Patrick's Day Glenside on Facebook. I think that's a lot of our communication, but
Okay.
we're
Cool.
not hard to find. Everyone in Glenside.
All right. Google it.
Everyone in Glenside
Yeah,
knows one of the
Google it.
committee members.
Yeah, that's true. Just
Good
text
point.
whoever you know on the committee.
Exactly. You know something.
Yes. And our committee, I can name Jamie Bresnicki, Katie Croak, Bill Donahue, Jennifer Eyre, Linda Gerhart, Megan Glantz, Tom Hendel, Matt Hungerford, Noreen McAleer, Colleen McDermott, Tim McClune, Kerry Mina, Jamie Piggott, Tom Reagan, and Molly Stanton.
Do you have any
There you
Irish
go.
people on the
I know,
committee?
right?
How do you get that more authentic, please?
I know.
Made sure everyone got a shout out.
Yeah,
that's so
yeah, for sure. Amazing committee.
You guys wanted to talk real quick about the
Grand Marshal.
Yeah, Grand
Marshal.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I didn't want to miss that before we shut
Yes.
down.
Yep.
So,
What is the Grand Marshal?
you ever
Rosemary
been to a parade, man?
Timony.
First, explain to Mike what a grand marshal is.
Well,
Please.
the Grand Marshal is the person who we celebrate, is the first in the parade who kind of represents the
Like the spirit of the parade.
spirit of the
Yeah,
parade.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It's just an honor to be the grand marshal of the parade, and each year there's a different person, and
Okay.
they're the first person leading the parade down, and everyone. It's just an honor. So
Beautiful.
you're in
Yeah.
consideration for your.
There's a sash. There's
the
a
Polish
plaque.
American Day
We'll get, the
parade.
tank,
We'll
we'll
get-
get the tank up front.
There you go.
No, but yeah, no. I think I just want to preface this. The last time I was in at a parade was I was probably in it for Boy Scouts, or
Okay.
Cub Scouts, like years and years ago. So
4 years
Grand
ago.
Marshals knew. Yeah, yeah. All right,
Hello?
all right. You're keeping this one family friendly. I can't say
All
anything.
right, back to Jen.
Anyway, yes, please take over the
Yeah,
Grand Marshal.
Sure. So Saturday, April 12th is the car show in Keswick Village.
Ooh.
And we will have a table there, and we will be taking nominations for
Oh,
next
cool.
year's Grand Marshal. So it's $1 a vote. And if you want to be the Grand Marshal, get your friends to vote for you.
So if I
and
put
we
in
can
like
do this.
$1,000,
You're
Yes.
pretty much the grand marshal.
Pretty
All
much,
right.
pretty much guaranteed.
I
He's
might-
already thinking about these. Like,
Yeah.
all right, how many deals do I need to get in the next 30 days?
my tax
Yeah.
returns coming in.
There you go.
That?
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
You do not want him at the front of your
We'll
parade.
get you a
I'm
nice
telling you
big
that right now.
sash.
But yeah, our grand marshal this year, Miss Timony.
Yeah, she had the time of her life. Oh my gosh, if you get to check out the footage, the video of her dancing. I mean, she runs Timony Dance Company, Irish Dance, and she was the crossing guard at Copper Beach for many, many years. So she was the
That's
perfect
fun.
choice, so well known in the community. But spirit is a great word for her. She got up and danced with every single group that came by. It was really awesome.
How long is the parade route?
How long was it supposed to be, or how long did it take?
Why don't we get into that? Go ahead.
Okay, we thought it was going to be 45 minutes. I
No.
think
All right, so
Yeah,
I do want
yeah.
to hear that, but mileage wise, or
I'm
Less
not
than a mile.
less
Less
than a mile. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and once again, we had to change it. You know, like
we did.
so, like next year, it's probably going to be a different route. We're figuring that out. But yeah, it's parades take longer than you
Yeah, of
think.
course,
You know,
yeah.
everyone's performing, doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So you thought it would be 45, and what was it? in
Yeah, I
reality?
think it went like
Hour 10?
Hour
I think.
10.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
okay.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Once again, one of the things that we learned, you got to just make sure everyone's on the same page. All the groups are moving at the same pace. There's no breaks, but we'll become parade experts by year 5.
Awesome.
Truly.
Love it.
Yeah.
10,000 hour rule.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, and it sounds like you guys are already obviously planning the next one, and you have all your ducks in a row from last year. You build on it, and yeah, it's exciting.
All of our.
Do you think it'll be easier this year, or do you think it'll be just as hard because you're growing?
Well, we won't have to reinvent a lot of wheels.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be easier. But with fundraising, I mean, we're starting at square one, and that
Sure, yeah.
happens for the 4th of July parade every year as well.
Yep.
Like the coffers are dry. We got to start over. We need everybody's support.
At least this year you have a proven concept, though. People weren't
Oh, yeah.
donating into the abyss. Like, I hope this works out.
Yeah,
I hope it even happens.
Businesses are now looking at the parade, going, "I want to be a part of that."
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're looking at you guys. We want you as sponsors.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Great. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on?
chat about, talk about?
Nothing. We just appreciate you guys having us here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I mean, mostly appreciate Glenside Pub. Thank you for having
Glenside
us.
Pub is
Very cool. Saved us a corner booth. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's the best seat in town. So
Opened up early for us.
absolutely.
And
Right.
poured us a beer. Even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Thank you,
Awesome.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's over there somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll make sure that we shout out your Instagram and your Facebook and get involved. Whether you're in Glenside or not, at least show up.
Yeah.
Come
For sure.
donate, have fun, and tip a pint.
Yep. We'll see you next year. Thank you, Glenside.
Thank you.
Hoorah.
All right,
very
thanks for coming
much.
on, guys. Nice to meet you, Jen.
Thank you so
so
much.
much,
See ya.
Rory. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mike.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. Bye.